Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, December 19th, and welcome to CVHP News. I'm Sonora Scott. We start today by taking a look at a precious resource in Victor Glenn's segment called Our Water.
So this is, we've had over the years, we have some aging infrastructure that's going on. Our capital improvement projects, we are really looking at, as we're renovating the roadways, looking at what the substructure and the utilities are underground. And so we are actively replacing many of those items.
So we've been working with Darnell Construction, and we have been reaming out or cleaning out the existing 24-inch sewer line. Our goal is to clean that line out enough that we will pull new pipe through that old line and ultimately give us a new pipe segment under the loop. Right now we're hopeful that we can get this project completed within 1 month, and this is as long as we get to pull new pipe through that existing 24-inch line. So we're hopeful by the end of the week we'll have a better answer on if that pipe can be all the way pulled through the existing line. If that can't be done, we will go with Plan B and start working on executing that project. In the event that we're not able to pull this new pipe through the existing line, we will have to move over and bore a whole new line under Houston Hart Expressway.
And so we actually know that we have certain areas of either water infrastructure or sewer infrastructure that's aged. We are looking at how we can systematically replace those. Unfortunately, sometimes it just gets ahead of us in that the degradation of it because of the age just happens before we can get to it.
For more Our Water stories, visit ConchoValleyHomepage.com/water.
Thanks, Victor. Now let's check in with Jay Martin, who's got a look at our weather. Good morning, Jay.
Another cold start to the morning. I know, not something fun you want to hear, but we're slowly going to be warming up into the 60s. Pretty much normal for this time of year, and clouds actually starting to roll in as well. So we'll see a few of those coming through, plenty of moisture, but we'll see warm temperatures for tonight as well, getting back into the mid-30s. That will be short-lived, though, because we're going to see a front that's going to be pushing through Friday night. That's why we're seeing some cloud covers increasing. We're only going to be 65 for Friday, and then looking at the lows, that's where we're seeing the cooler air from this front coming through, getting us back down to 32 and 30 for Sunday morning as well, before we start to see a high pressure that's going to be coming into our area Sunday and Monday, getting us some 70s for the holiday week coming up. We'll have some nice flying conditions though Tuesday night and into Wednesday, so not too bad, but a little bit on the warm side for next week, but it's not too bad. I know a lot of people are watching to see what they can expect for gifts and for Christmas cheer.
And we are back with Morgan Chegwidden. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, no problem. Now, I'm probably going to mess up your title, so go ahead and tell the people your title.
Sure. It's a mouthful. I'm the Assistant Director of Neighborhood and Family Services, which includes supervising the Animal Services Division.
Yes, and so that's what we're talking about today is the Animal Services, a program that y'all have going on that it's been very successful.
Yeah, we think so. We're really proud of the progress we've made. A few years ago, we adopted a no-kill initiative where no animal will be euthanized for time and space.
Yeah.
We really wanted to ramp up adoptions, increase owner redemptions, people looking for their lost pet, and we'd had a measure of success from that. We'd gone from a 20 to 30% live release rate to about a 47% live release rate the last 2 years. So that's great improvement, but certainly lots more room to continue that progress.
Perfect. So how can people watching this, they want to say, oh, I want to get involved. How can they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. What we really enjoy about our latest incarnation of No Kill, which is adopting a San Angelo Pets Alive model. American Pets Alive is the organization out of Austin, Texas, that has just taken the nation about this is a very data-driven program about how to get animals out alive and things to do. So certainly, if you're in the market for a pet to adopt, come check us out for adoptions. We've got, we're carrying more animals than ever at the shelter as we're making improvements to the facility and being able to house all of them. So if you're in the market for a cat, a dog, sometimes pocket pets, we will find a solution for you. So certainly adoption, as most people are aware, but we really are also looking for folks that are advocates, people who are animal lovers. One program we're really excited about that we launched just a couple months ago is called our Good Samaritan program. I don't know about you, but before I worked at the shelter, if I was driving around the streets and I saw a dog loose, I'd try to get it. I would try to get it in my car. I would try to find its owner. I would try to do whatever. And if none of that worked, I would bring it to the shelter and I would say, well, gosh, if somebody's looking for their dog, they'll come to the shelter to look for their dog.
Yeah.
So the Good Samaritan program is a way where we can partner with people like that who are like, I really want to advocate for this pet, but I want to make sure, can it go back to its owners? I'm certainly not in a position to keep it myself. So we say we absolutely appreciate the advocacy you've already shown for this pet, that you pulled and interrupted your busy day. You pulled over, you got this dog in your car, a strange dog, you don't know, and you figured it out, right? And so we want to set that animal up for success. The biggest concern coming into a shelter environment is the spread of disease and the exposure to disease. So the Good Samaritan program, we say, hey, it's totally voluntary. Do you want to participate in it? We will go ahead and do a cursory vetting of the animal. We'll vaccinate the animal, photograph it, scan for microchip, all of those things, go ahead and upload it in our pet management software, but send you home with it for 72 hours. That 72-hour window is golden for making sure that those pets become fully inoculated, those vaccines take effect, and if there's any kind of emergency that comes up or anything, certainly call our shelter. But after that 72 hours, you get a fast pass that you get to come back with. You don't have to go through all the paperwork again. You can just come through and say, hey, I came a few days ago with this pet. I'm ready to bring it back now. We already have you in your system. We know that you're just a stray, a Good Samaritan that picked up this dog or cat, and we go ahead and take that in at that time. And one happy side effect of Good Samaritan is sometimes the citizen falls in love with the dog and they're like, you know, my mother-in-law's been looking for a dog. If you don't find these owners, call me. Hey, I found the owner through social media means, and we just reunited in the field. We never had to come into the shelter, and that's a bonus as well. So the Good Samaritan program is something that, as I mentioned, is totally voluntary. Some people are not in that position to take a strange dog into their home, but something we wanted out there and available to folks that do want to advocate in that way.
Yeah, that's a phenomenon. I can think of a lot of people just off the top of my head who, me, myself included, who pull over and try to get the dog and, you know, try to help. But that's a great way. So it's very simple. Everything's taken care of. You basically just hold the dog for a few days and then you can give it back, or you can adopt it.
Right. There's always that option. Yeah. If you do decide you fall in love with that pet, then we can come run it through our Concho Valley Paws partnership for the adoption fee. You get it spay neutered, rabies vaccinated, and microchipped. And it's just a win-win for everybody. And then that pet never had to suffer the being in the shelter. Yeah,
exactly. So let's talk about those folks who they are in the market for a pet. They want to say, you know, I want to come see, but I'm not sure. Y'all have everything online, right? That you can kind of get a little bit of information beforehand.
We do, and a lot of our pets get a lot of promotion online. I don't know if you've heard about Ham Sandwich. He is getting a lot of attention, and we're real proud of that dog. He is he's so ugly, he's cute. He's that kind of dog, and so we're real grateful for folks that are like, man, let me share this dog. Let me see what's going on. But for every Ham Sandwich, there's 10 more behind him that aren't getting that FaceTime, and so we do. We have all of our pets online. We have, I think, 370 animals at the shelter today. About half dogs, half cats is pretty standard for us. And then in Concho Valley Paws, they have over 100 pets in foster homes as well. And so quite an inventory of pets.
That's a lot.
You know, if you're looking for a dog and you're like, I kind of want a small dog, I kind of want a medium dog, I kind of want a working breed dog, let us know and check out what we have. And the best way to find it, I think the cleanest list of all of our adoptable pets is at ConchoValleyPaws.org. They are our partner for overseeing all those adoptions. They have an office there at the shelter. We're there 10 to 6 Monday through Friday. Certainly there's a number of mobile events going on that you can always see on their social media platforms, but checking out their webpage is often a great way to start. I know when I was in the market for a pet, you know, I got my first place, I was starting my career, I'm like, today's the day we get a dog, right? I spent over a month really shopping what was available at the shelter. I saw a dog, I fell in love with her, I went, I got her, and it really started with that online experience first. And so we've really built that out with some really marketable photos so you can kind of see the pet's personality, and certainly mentioning their size, because some dogs look small and you meet them in real life and you're like, oh, this is a 45 25-pound
Yeah,
dog.
this is a huge dog.
And that could be small to someone, but
Yeah.
maybe it's not, the 20-pound Chihuahua that they
Yeah.
were thinking that it was.
Exactly.
And so it's certainly a great platform to also interface with folks.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad you mentioned some of the services, in the Good Samaritan program. But all of these pets, you're going to get them, fully vaccinated, microchipped, all that stuff that it would take you probably a few weeks to do by yourself, running around to different vets.
Right, and a couple $100
Yeah.
through a private veterinarian. And
Yeah.
so the microchipping is huge, that it comes with the pet. And that's another thing that Pets Alive is really advocating for, is that we have progressive return to owner policies, that we make sure that if that pet has a potential owner, we try to track that down. We try to reunite in the field so that animal doesn't even come into the shelter
Yeah.
again, and so one of that's huge is microchipping.
Yeah.
Microchipping is required inside city limits. We do it at the shelter Monday through Friday, 10 to 6 for $13. So if you have a pet that's not microchipped, come by. We're happy to do that for y'all.
For $13.
For
That's
$13.
That's amazing.
That's a good point. And that is for the life of the pet.
Yeah.
There's no annual fee. And if you move, if you get married, if you need to add an emergency phone number, you just call us. We add that information.
Yeah.
It's easy to do. And there's no fee for that. The $13
Yeah.
just stays with that for the life of the pet. We also have a number of mobile microchip clinics where we go out in the
Oh, that's
community
right.
and say, hey, come by, bring your microchip clinics. And that was huge as well for fiscal year 19 success. We set a goal for 2019 to relieve 60% of animals alive.
Yeah.
And we did it. We did 60.7% of our animals left alive. And the biggest part of that was microchipping, that we were able to really ramp up and increase the number of people claiming their pets.
Yeah.
That we know that these pets have an owner, they don't necessarily have a tag, but this looks like a well cared for pet.
Yeah.
And so by microchipping and offering that, our animal services officers in the field have been able to say, hey, go knock on your door and say,
Yeah.
is this your dog? I'm pretty sure this was the last known address for this animal.
found it.
And we found it. And inevitably someone will say, you know what, I just moved in this place and started renting it, but I know the prior tenant, let me get them for you.
Yeah.
Because people's phone numbers change and
Oh,
things
yeah.
happen. And so for 2019, that was huge for us. In June 2019, for example, we microchipped more animals than the whole prior fiscal year.
Wow.
So really, the community was hungry for that service.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough to have a free microchip clinic that month, and we are having another one in April 2019
Okay.
that I'm sure we'll be back to talk about the
Oh, yeah.
details. But be sure, that's a ways off. So if you have the $13, come in and do it. If you have several pets, do one a month until you
Yeah.
get caught up with everybody. But if you know somebody that's in need, that's needing to get it done, we do have those free microchip clinics
Yeah.
occasionally as we can fundraise and offer them for free.
Definitely. Yeah. And I mean, I think the majority of pet owners, they're responsible. Occasionally you have those that aren't responsible, and that's where y'all come in. But that's where the others can step up and say, hey, I'll be part of the Samaritan program. I will, foster this dog or cat. And how do folks get involved that way? If they want to just maybe volunteer, do y'all need volunteers?
We
Things
always
like
need
that.
volunteers. One thing that's big is because we're not euthanizing for time or space, means that we have some dogs that are staying there for an extended period of time. Any dog that's in the shelter for more than 4, 5, 6 months, that's something that becomes really concerning for us as far as their enrichment and their daily life.
Yeah.
And so we are hungry for dog walkers. We are looking for folks that, are able-bodied folks that need a leash and a dog and a good weather day and come out and walk. And so we definitely have a lot of dogs that would benefit from
Yeah.
that. And that's something that we're trying to build out more of. There's also, whatever your skill set is. I knew a lady that did hair, and she wanted to come and just bathe all our dogs and do like a
Wow.
deep condition and a little whatever. And I'm like, yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Please.
come on.
That is
Come
a great
on.
opportunity. And so whatever your skill set is, if you're like,
Yeah.
where it's at for me is cats. I want to see the baby kittens. I want to socialize them. I want to make sure that they, maybe they were removed from their mom too early. We are coming up on kitten season. And so for people that are cat lovers that are like, I don't know how to get involved, but I love a cat. Listen, we have opportunities for you. And so really touching base on our website, there's
Yeah.
lots of volunteer opportunities there.
Okay.
To actually foster is also through Concho Valley Paws.
Okay.
And so you may come, get registered with them, let them know about your fostering opportunities. They're hungry for new fosters all the time because inevitably you fall in love with your pet and you adopt it. That's
yeah.
not what we want. We want you to continue
Yeah.
fostering. We want you to be able to continue to stay in service that way. So for those of you who are like, well, I can't foster because I'll keep the pet. It happens sometimes, but by and large, folks do, see the happy ending of, I'm bringing my foster pet to adoption events. I'm meeting the adopters. I have that opportunity to know that my pet's going to a good home, and I'm hungry for the next pet I can save, because now that's freed up a space in my home to take in another pet. So those opportunities are also listed on the Concho Valley Paws website to get involved for fostering in particular.
Perfect. Wow, such great information. And again, you can find it all online on those websites. Y'all are active on Facebook, active everywhere. So any final thoughts or messages to the folks?
Those are the real main takeaways. We set our goal for fiscal year 20 to hit a 72% live release rate, and that's going to take a lot of support, but we feel it. The community comes out every time we need help and we need something. In November, we had a particularly difficult time where our intake was down, but our adoptions and owner redemptions were also down. And so we were full. We were really stressed out. We had a really hard time. And so we leaned on our media resources. We leaned on our partners, and people came forward and they saved us. They saved us from having to euthanize for time and space. And so going from a 60% live release rate in 1 year to 72% in the coming year is scary. And I don't know how we're going to get there, but I'm confident that this community always comes out in force for the animal shelter, and we're so grateful for that. And there's no way we can do it in a vacuum. We need folks that, no matter how small or how much you can do, it all matters and it all is impactful, and we're grateful for however you can step forward and advocate for our pets.
Yeah, it all adds up.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Well, perfect. Thank you so much for joining us today, Morgan, and I'm sure, like you said, we'll see you back here on the show. Looking forward to it. So again, all that information is online, and we want to thank you for joining us for CVHP. Don't forget to follow us on social media and download our free app. All you got to do is search Concho Valley Homepage in your app store, and we will see you right back here tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everybody.